we are looking at more heavy rain over the Avalon Peninsula and eastern areas of Newfoundland this evening. We'll talk about when this lets up, what the weekend looks like, and next week, after I thank tonight's forecast sponsor, Venture Credit Union. Venture Credit Union is currently offering a 4.99% promotional rate on loans for vehicles, power sports, and more. Please see one of their 4 branches in Glovertown, Twillingate, Gambo, or Catalina for details. Visit venturecu.ca. Just before 6:15 on our Friday, and we've got more heavy rain falling on the Avalon Peninsula and into the St. John's Metro. It's pushing back to the west. It's almost done with us in the Metro, but it's going to continue for a little while longer for the Avalon Peninsula north, and then eventually off to the west over eastern areas of the island off the easternmost peninsula. Burin Peninsula, you're going to get some heavy rain and maybe even some high wind here too in short order. Now we're also seeing some snow showing up over western areas of the island right now, mainly in the highest elevations. And that's where it may snow overnight. If it does, I'm not expecting much. Something else kind of neat to look at on this map here, look at that. You can actually see the low center there swirling kind of at the mouth of Placentia Bay. Now around this low, we are going to see some gusty wind speeds from the east or south. Not expecting anything like we saw last week, but we are going to see a period of some gusty winds. We're starting to see some evidence of that now, although the winds as of 6:13, not super impressive. In St. John's, we're gusting 60, St. Lawrence 40, Argentia 61. But we do have this wind warning up for the Avalon and Bonavista Peninsulas for winds gusting as high as about 100 overnight. Now, the Burin Peninsula isn't in this, but the northeast side of the Burin Peninsula on the top of Placentia Bay may see a few hours of some high wind speeds overnight. Now for the Metro, our winds are going to peak between about now and midnight, and then they'll slowly kind of slacken thereafter on the Bonavista Peninsula. Winds gusting 80 or 90, they will peak between about 10 o'clock and midnight or so, and then slowly back off as we go throughout the rest of the overnight. Now areas further south, that's also something to watch, because watch this, as the low moves in, almost going right over Marystown again, the computer here is showing a gust in St. Bride's at 9:30 of 107. Now that's with this kind of core of high wind speed that I can kind of highlight for you here with the telestrator. There's a core of high wind speed right there, and watch that as it moves back to the west by midnight. Kind of goes just, on the eastern side of the Burin Peninsula, like the Swift Current area, up towards Arnold's Cove, Goobies. Goobies not right on the coast, but it's kind of in that area. Maybe seeing some gusty winds for a few hours this evening. Those Clarenville midnight forecast gust is 80, may peak a tad higher, and that wind core kind of just fizzles as it moves back to the west in conjunction with that area of low pressure. Now, by tomorrow morning, wind speed's going to be light to moderate. So we'll watch the rain go back to the west overnight on Futurecast. Very easy to see what happens here. By midnight, we've got some rain and some snow for western areas of Newfoundland, primarily the higher elevations inland are seeing the wet snow. Notice the forecast temp at midnight in Corner Brook is 3 degrees as well in Buckens. The rain, the snow move into the Gulf, Quebec, and eventually into Labrador by tomorrow morning, and parts of Lab West are going to pick up a few centimeters of snow during the day tomorrow. The coast is going to see some rain overnight and tomorrow morning, and even through tomorrow in the north. But beyond that, the weather will start to improve later tomorrow and Sunday, albeit it's going to be brief. We'll talk about why in just a second. Rainfall forecast for the rest of the night, 10 to 15 millimeters for some areas, potentially as much as 20 or 25 on the bottom of the Burin Peninsula. So we're making up for the summer and early fall's lack of rain kind of in a big way. Into Labrador, we are going to see some rain on the coast, 10-15 millimeters. We are going to see some snow as well. Looks like later tonight and tomorrow. Higher terrain, 10-15 centimeters. As we get back to Lab West, a few centimeters looks to be in the forecast. Nothing major for the big land. And then on the island, again, inland high terrain, a few centimeters. Looks like up to, maybe 5 or 10. No, not many areas seeing anything over that. The highest hills south and east of Deer Lake maybe, but nothing I'm overly concerned about. And this shows that really nicely. Corner Brook, Bay of Islands, not much. Again, it's the hills around Corner Brook, Long Range Mountains, that will see the snow. Okay, so we take a look at the weekend forecast. Once we are through tomorrow morning, eastern Newfoundland looks pretty good. I don't know about you. I have a lot of stuff to pick at outside. My backyard is still lush as can be. The grass is as beautiful as it's ever been. I gotta cut it, I suppose. So I guess the weekend's gonna be a good time to do that. Who would have thought? And then as we look at the forecast for Labrador for the weekend, a little bit of snow on Saturday back to the west, warming up in some areas for Sunday, especially along the coast, and the weather improves as well. Now, I'm not going to show every 7-day. If you want yours, you can get the app in the Apple App Store, Google Play Store if you don't have it, or just open it up, have a look, that way you know. But I want to highlight the South Coast's 7-day forecast, and here's why. All right, so look at Monday. 9 degrees, rain, and wind. South Coast, not going to be the only spot that sees that, and here's why. Another area of low pressure moves in. Sunday night, Monday may start briefly as snow for western Newfoundland as this moves in, but it looks like more significant rain for the island between Sunday and Monday, and the potential for significant snowfall in Labrador as we go into Monday as well. So I'll be watching that very closely. I'll have updates for you over the weekend. The best place to find those updates is my app. And if you don't have it, you can get it. And if you don't want it, that's okay. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, all the socials. I'm trying to put updates out as frequently as I can. And I certainly will have some for you over the weekend. Have a very good Friday evening, and my next update will be at some point over the weekend. Stay safe. Talk soon.